Did everybody review the minutes?
Yes.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Patty, anyone want a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Laura, second. All in favor? Oh, any discussion? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, sorry, it's been a long day. Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Mr. Cleaver is not here today. I'll talk about that in a minute. We do, one of our handouts, or what I was looking at for several reasons, but one is that it does indicate that we should have a representative
Yes.
DPZ
Yeah.
as
For
well as
both.
conservation.
For both of them. Yeah.
Right. So, Tony, I tried to click on Rob's email and I couldn't get the address for some reason. So if you don't mind forwarding that to me, and then I'll contact him myself.
Sure, of course.
Indicate that it is, indicate that that is a requirement, so that we will have a TPZ rep on the next meeting.
Mhm.
I know Tim indicated he's on vacation. Lucky him. So
Yeah,
he's not here
yeah.
this evening.
Yeah.
So then we go to Sheila.
Hi, everyone.
I love your cat in the back.
Oh, I got two of them in this room. There's two off camera.
No, there's a cat on the pillows behind Patty.
That's my dog. That's my dog.
I was going to
Oh,
say,
that's your dog.
Patty has
That's my
cats.
dog. And now I have to go on mute because she's barking
He's
at
falling
her.
off.
You're probably barking at my house, Patty. My
Yeah.
pointers are out
Me,
there.
All right, I'm going to go on mute. Sorry.
Sorry.
Back on the agenda, I'll give you just a brief update from the Board of Selectmen met on May 11th, and there were 3 items in our agenda that sort of have some relevance to Cupop. One is we had on the agenda a proposal for an archaeological dig in the Bladens River area, which is across up by Seymour Road. That is tabled for now because we're going to have a brief presentation. I believe it's a professor from CCSU or one of the state university schools. He's done some previous work in Woodbridge. He's finding some really interesting relics from very long ago. But we'll probably have him at our June meeting if he's able to join us. And typically the Board of Selectmen just gives permission for the dig to take place, and then everything after the dig is over, everything is left exactly, returned to the way it looked prior. So there's really no major impact on things, but this is Bladens River is publicly owned property that he's looking to do a little research project on.
Bladen, so that's on Seymour Road.
Yes,
That's
Route
okay.
67. Yep, along
Yep.
there.
Before the where there's a waterfall before the cemetery. Is that it? The whole thing there?
So it runs along the border of Route 67. I think sometimes it crosses somewhere along the line. It crosses and then it gets down into must be flowing into the Weppawag at that point. I'm not sure exactly what point. He didn't make the presentation yet, but
Okay.
if you're interested, I think if it's
Yeah,
up on
I
our
would be
June
interested. Yeah.
meeting agenda, it's always interesting to hear him talk about what he's finding too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did some work behind the Darling House at one point as well.
Okay. Very interesting.
So that was one item that actually got tabled. The second item that we have taken up as the Board of Selectmen now is the Housing Committee report. So we got a brief update because we didn't really have enough time to read. It's a very lengthy document. So Beth Heller has set a special meeting date for the Board of Selectmen to really take our time and consider it. That meeting is Wednesday, the 25th. So two nights from now, starting at 5 p.m. It's going to be a virtual meeting again, but we're inviting public comment. And if people want to comment on the draft report, the report is on the website, woodbridgect.org. There's a link. You can download the report there, and you can either send public comment by email ahead of time, or you can literally zoom into the WebEx, WebEx into the meeting and deliver some public comment. If you have questions, thoughts, anything you'd like to add to the board's deliberation on that. The state would like us to submit our report by June 1. So May 25th is really probably the latest we'll be able to do that and do it in advance of June 1. My understanding is that the housing report can be updated as frequently as we would like to. So if there's going to be additions, subtractions, anything added to the report, we're free to do that anytime. We're just meant to have something on file by June 1. So the Board of Selectmen will take this up on Wednesday and possibly will be acting to approve it to be sent up to the state. And then lastly, from our agenda on May 11th, Selectman David Vogel and I presented more details of the Board of Selectmen's strategic plan that we have been drafting. We have things kind of categorized on 3 basic levels. So the first is to ensure the financial stability of the town, the continued financial stability. The second major category is to maintain and invest in our infrastructure and facilities. And I can see a role for Cupop in that. Obviously, that's talking about what we own here in the town, publicly owned property, buildings and land. And then thirdly, to enhance quality of life. And again, that's somewhere where Cupop's efforts may dovetail. What we're thinking here is that the Board of Selectmen would set some top level objectives of what we would like to achieve on behalf of the town, and then work carefully with our partners. And Cupop is certainly one of those partners. So boards, commissions, outside organizations as well, members of the public. We're looking to partner with everyone who wants to be involved in these initiatives. So the process here is we're drafting it and we're looking to probably finalize it at the June meeting and then begin sort of talking to each board and commission that we can, envision a role for about how we're going to go about achieving these things, because this is essentially a 1-year plan to make progress on things, including things that were in the plan of conservation development, which was a 10-year time frame. So this is just a way of focusing attention by the Board of Selectmen, and we hope to be able to communicate to the public that we're making progress in that regard. So that was it from the May 11th Board of Selectmen meeting. And then the only other thing I'll mention is, of course, the annual town meeting took place on the 16th of May, and the town's budget was approved as presented. And that's it from the Board of Selectmen liaison.
Great. Thank you, Sheila. Any questions, anyone? Okay, so I guess I'm
Thank
up.
you, Sheila. Your reports are always so thorough. We really
They
appreciate
are,
it.
they are. Thank you, Sheila. So Sheila took over all the information. Thank you, Sheila, on the update on the Housing Opportunity Study Committee. That's where we are at this time. So I encourage everyone to listen on May 25th and look at the report. It is very lengthy and did take quite some time. So please, everyone, look at that. The Woodbridge Community Center building, that is what the old firehouse will be referred to from here on out. So it is now called the Woodbridge Community Center building. There is a building committee, and I am intending to have once they are meeting. I mean, they just were created, I believe, right, Sheila, on May 11th. So as soon as they have the opportunity to meet, I know this will be a lengthy process. I intend on inviting the committee chair to come and speak with us and give us an update on the community center building. And also the center building renovation committee was also, I hate to use the word created, but on May 11th, right, Sheila? So that I would like them to have the opportunity to come and meet.
Yeah, that was I think that one was created the previous month because these
previous month.
so
Sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. April and May. So I do intend to have them come and speak as well to give us updates on the renovation of that building, which of course we already know involves the HVAC for the senior center, expanding the police department, etc. So they can give us details on that. Any questions on that? I mean, any specific questions? Again, I would like to have the committee heads to come to our meeting to kind of let us know what's happening, so they could probably answer better than me, but I'm sure Sheila knows plenty about both projects. If anyone has any urgent questions they have now about it. Okay. In-person meeting status. So the governor and Sheila, I believe you mentioned this, or Tony, in our last meeting, that we do have the opportunity to continue meeting remotely. I would leave that to the committee to decide what you would like to do, if you would like to continue meeting remotely. I don't know what the deadline is for how long we can meet remotely. Does anyone else have that date, Tony or Sheila?
I don't know.
Okay. So for now, I do know certainly for June, if we wish to meet remotely, if someone would like to make a motion to that effect, or in the alternative, make a motion to meeting in person.
Didn't we vote on that last time?
Did we vote on June being remote?
I thought we agreed that we
No.
would be virtual.
I don't think so, Tony, did we? I didn't see anything.
I believe we voted some time ago to revisit it this month. We voted on Leslie up until May to be virtual. And now I think we need another motion to figure out what the committee wants to do going forward.
Right. So whoever would like to start the conversation first.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I think I've heard feedback that I think people are in favor of working remotely just because of the current status of our COVID situation. So it makes sense to offer that.
I
So-
second it.
Okay.
So they're making a motion, Patty, to
Yes,
meet
yes.
remotely for June? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to extend that indefinitely, or do you want to address it as each meeting to see where we are?
Well, on our agenda tonight, we were going to talk about the upcoming meetings. We talk about the summer anyway.
Right, which is
So
why I was asking, right, if we want to do,
yeah,
why don't we make a motion for June now, and then we'll address the other dates, and then we can, so does that make sense? It's your motion, so I don't want to put words in your mouth, but,
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
okay. So the motion is to meet remotely for the June meeting.
For June.
Okay, and Leslie, you're seconding that?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Is Laura at the
Laura?
meeting? Is Laura still at the meeting?
She
It went to the LFF
might
13.
have lost her
fine.
connection.
Yes, I'm still on, but I have to take a call. I'm sorry. So yes, I'll vote yes.
All right. Meeting schedule adjustments. So we have listed here July 25th, August 29th, and December 26th. I will mention, and I'm going to get into this a little bit more when I start talking about Cupop projects and things of that nature. Personally, just to discuss whether we want to meet, what days we want to meet. July 25th, we typically do not meet in July. A lot of us are away, I think, during the summer, and as well as December 26th. I don't know what your thoughts are about August 29th, but with the strategic plan going, probably being adopted in June, right, Sheila, is what you're thinking. I feel that, and I'll get into in more detail, and I'll discuss what happened in my meeting on Friday that I had with Beth and Sheila and Betsy and Tony, that we may want to have an August 29th meeting. That's when school will already be back in session, and I think that we should meet in August 29th. There are some projects that I'm hoping that we'll be able to take on behalf of the town. But I can get into more details about that later, but that's just my opinion for what it's worth. So what does everybody else think?
I agree because I think, we should keep the summer intact. And then if we don't need it, then we can just cancel it, to the summer dates.
Well, we could take, do you want to just not meet July 25th, but meet definitely August 29th? And then not
Sure.
meet December 26th? Or do you want to meet in July too, Laura?
If you need it, I don't want to meet in July if we don't need it. If we
Right.
need it, we meet.
I think August 29th would be good, and
Okay.
because
Alright.
if the strategic plan is completed in June and there's some questions that we need to get answered regarding
Mhm.
potential projects, it'll give us some time to get all the answers together and potentially have some new news in August. I hope to have some news in June, but you know,
Yeah,
for
of course,
August.
yeah.
So if anyone would like to make a
I
motion,
concur.
okay,
I'll make the motion that we meet in August and
Okay.
not in July.
or December. Okay. Anyone want a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Patty. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous.
We are meeting in June, you're saying? though?
Yes, yes.
Okay. That's, well, I'll let you know as we get closer. I might not be around that week, but I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay. You keep me posted, Patty. It's fine.
Okay.
Other business, which kind of wraps into, I'm going to jump right to number 5, Cupop projects. I think I'm just going to jump right in there. So I had a meeting on Friday, as I indicated. Sheila's probably sick of meeting with me by now. I think she's seen my face quite often the last few weeks. In any event, there is a potential project list that I've been reviewing to see. We discussed this at the last meeting to see what type of projects Cupop could um, entertain or handle for the town on behalf of the town. A few of these that I do feel strongly about. I did speak with everyone on Friday. There are some questions that I need to get answered by Jerry Weiner, which I did message him and email him about these questions, and I'm waiting for a response back. I'm hoping that we can these are a lot of joint projects with groups such as the Diversity and Inclusion Committee that Laura, you're on, and things of that nature. So I hopefully will have more news in June, especially with the strategic plan coming out in June. I'm hoping that there are ways that we can assist and have our own projects that could be that we could work on with other committees, but where we're playing an integral part. A couple things I think that we can start addressing as a committee, which is why I asked Tony, who was very kind enough to send this around. We do, and as it says here, we must maintain the list of publicly owned properties, which, as we know, needs to be updated. And one of the reasons why, well, we should have it anyway, but another reason why I had it sent around is that the specific types of housing, property, excuse me, I'm sorry, my brain's in the housing authority situation, of land, they are listed under subsection A. And so these, and I believe, and Sheila gave us, and Tony sent over the 2014 listing of publicly owned properties that was attached to the POCD. So it is definitely dated. And there are properties that could be added and also subtracted from this list. So this is going to be a task that we do need to do. I mean, it is 2022, so we should probably update this list at this point. And I believe that the strategic planning committee, right, Sheila, would need this, right, to move forward as well. So Tony and I and Sheila were talking about this and the manner of which to go about this. It's going to involve contacting, the clerk, right, and getting the list of all of the properties. And I'm trying to figure out a way, and we were talking about this, to get all of the properties that fall under all 4 categories. Sheila was kind enough to forward me an email from when she had made the similar request years ago. So I'm hoping to word it in the exact same way in the hopes that we can get all of that information as easy as possible without us having to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. But that is a project that we do need to complete. I anticipate making this request this week. And I wanted to ask, just procedurally speaking, Tony and Sheila, once I make the request for these particular properties in the manner which you did, Sheila, a few years back, in terms of FOIA, do we then, take me through that a little bit, because if I'm sending around via email the list of the properties that I do receive from the town clerk and the assessor's office to the committee so that we can create this updated list, those emails and the documents must be posted, or how does that work?
Yeah, so this is all publicly available information to begin with, right? Anyone can ask the assessor how many
Mhm.
pieces of property exist, et cetera, in various categories. So I think what we did last time, and Laura, you may remember this, I think we had a subcommittee that just met once the data came in from
Yes,
the assessor,
Yeah.
right? And then we just
Right.
literally sat at the table and combed through and said,
yeah,
the highlight marker said this, everything highlighted in green belongs in category 1. Everything we highlight in blue goes into
Right.
category 2, whatever. We were very color coded back then, right?
yeah. Mhm.
That sounds perfect. That sounds
Yeah.
like how we should do it.
It
Most
worked.
of it is very self-explanatory. I don't think you're going to find a lot of new properties, even though it's been many, many years. And then I did hear Tim say at the Conservation Commission meeting, I watched the recording, that they have already approached the land trust, or in the process of approaching the land trust, the Parks Association, and he may have named another group that might have purchased conservation restrictions since that time. So this is probably a case of, let's not ask the group again to give us the information. We can probably get it from conservation.
Right.
And those are the only things you're going to add, really. I don't think the town has purchased much.
Right.
The
Right.
Regional Water Authority has divested itself of a couple of properties. And then whatever the Land Trust and Parks Association may have done.
hmm
So I'm wondering if we could have keep this on the agenda for June. We can compile all of the information from the town hall, and then perhaps, or Tony, I'll ask if you could send it out to everybody once I get it, and I'll forward it to you, and then we can have a. I wonder if we could do this because we're not meeting in person.
You could share the screen, and maybe
Yeah.
Nicole,
Yeah.
as chairman, if you just take your first stab at it and highlight with those 4 colors, right?
Mhm.
And just say, hey, there seems to be these other items that are questionable. What do we all think? And have some discussion.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. So
Mhm.
that is definitely something that we should get working on. So hopefully I will have all that information by our June meeting, and we can keep that on as an agenda item to have that completed. A couple things on that we discussed, and again, I'll get into more detail during the June meeting once I solidify the information that we had discussed. Um, One issue, which I know, Leslie, is near and dear to your heart, is the littering public awareness. Is Leslie still on? No? Oh, there you go.
There she
There.
is.
So we were discussing that during the meeting, and I'm thinking, if we have, we have the one red litter day once a year, and there's discussion. And Leslie, if you're willing to be the head of a subcommittee on this issue, to have organize the litter cleanup days with the high school students and town residents who want to do community service. And that could happen more, obviously, than once a year, and it could be a regular event. We do have the police department, as indicated, I believe it was Sheila that mentioned that, who would, I don't want to use say protect, but ensure that the safety of everyone who is picking up litter close to the streets and anywhere where potentially someone could get injured picking up litter. They have already indicated that their willingness to work with littering days. And so I think that if this is something that Leslie, you would like to, and I don't want to put you on the spot. Feel free to say no, but if this is something that you would like to be in charge of a subcommittee to organize these days with the schools and the high schools and the residents. That is something that I think the Cupop can handle.
I mean, the issue is, and I know it's not on the agenda. At some point, I'd like to update you guys on that whole issue. as of today. But, would it involve, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what that it would involve. Educational administrators, and not sure how it's run now. Are there people with whom I could speak to find out what the protocol has been?
Well, I think we have, who's in charge of the Red Litter Day that we have? Isn't that's done on in was that done recently? In
Barkin is.
Right. So I'm thinking that if you start there,
I think Betsy Yagla coordinates it all.
right. So
Right,
Betsy's a good
but-
person to talk to about that.
But isn't Barkin also involved with that?
Kathy Barkin.
Kathy Barkin, yeah.
And there's a team over at the at Beecher Road School, the Green Team. I think
Yes,
they
the
call
green
themselves.
team also.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy
And
Barkin.
the high school has, I think, an environmental club, and they were also involved in past efforts. And there, I think actually that it was a sports club that went and did the side of Amity Road before. So various groups at Amity High School.
Mhm.
And I'll also mention that my daughter, who's a student there as well, and a lot of students, like they want to get the by the time they graduate, to the 100 hours of community service for the extra community service award that they can get at graduation. So there is an office where the students go to. I believe it's the Career Center, where, and you can call the main office and they'll tell you, where students always go looking for community service opportunities. So you could potentially have not only the green team at Beecher, I think Hillary Drum and
Yes.
individuals like that are in charge
Yeah.
of that, but you
Yeah.
also have a ton of high school students who would be willing to work and help you on these litter days. So I would,
I'm sorry, is it a once a year event?
we can have it more than once a year. You can have it, we can have it whatever we decide, however many times we want. We want to do it 4 times a year. Do it right after when weather gets warm, when the everything melts and all the garbage is underneath the snow. We could do it again during the summertime. We could do it again in the fall. Obviously it's weather permitting. I mean, the winter's kind of difficult, right? But unless we have some of those crazy 65-degree days that we did have. But
No,
as
I'm
a
sure
general rule, we could do it more often than it's being done now to ensure, and in different areas of town, right? So, or you could do it at different areas of town at the same time and have different teams spread out among the town. There are a lot of educational pieces too. Um, Sheila found one on it was YouTube, right? So there's a lot of educational videos as well, and that's another piece that we could add into it as well. I mean, there's all different ideas that we could do. So if you don't have to make decisions today, just something to think about as a potential project for us to start. And it's June next month, and it's perfect warm weather to get out there and start getting our town ready for rid of all of litter. So I think that this is something that we could certainly be in charge of. And what else? Patty, I think I asked you about the Grove. I remember you were on that committee at one point with
Yeah.
the Grove. And the Grove is now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sheila, but it's under the auspice of the new community center, which is again what the old firehouse is being called now, the Woodbridge Community Center. So that is where the Grove went. So that was the question I had. I wanted to know what happened to it. So it's going to fall under that committee.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard anything further from Betsy and team, but I can certainly reach out to her and see if there's anything she needs from me going forward now that it's moving along.
Great.
To
And
know.
then, yeah, it's right. So that was one thing I had asked about how we could assist. And there are different areas as well that I had asked, which again, I have to get some answers to some questions and hope that we can work in conjunction with other committees throughout the town to make a difference in Woodbridge, to enhance the experience, just like Sheila said, with the strategic plan. So I'll let you keep you posted for June, and I hope to have updates and a project list, or at least the beginning of a project list for us that is for the Cupop to complete. Let's see. I think oh, here it is. So does anybody have any questions about that? Leslie, if you want to email me before our next meeting and let me know what your thoughts are about certain projects that you would like to do, and if you want to, first let me know if you want to be in charge of that, and second of all, if what type of ideas you have in terms of events, and then we can put it on the agenda. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we're up to the dog park. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry. Before I interrupt you, one more quick thing. Laura, I brought up your when you brought up the Japanese barberry that's been spreading. I did bring that up as well. So I'm going to we discussed that a bit, and I'm going to reach out to Andy and see if there's something that we can do in conjunction with the with Trail Master, and see what we can do. Because you had mentioned that the barberry was spreading around some of the trails on Racebrook, right?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Laura.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, thank you. Yes, you were coming in and out, but yes, it's on the in Racebrook, the preserve there, and also I noticed on this on the side of the road as you go into the community garden, in the parking area, there's a couple of bushes there.
Oh, where the dog park is and the community gardens? Okay.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Okay, so right. So that's, again, that'll be another group effort there. So
Yeah.
we're hoping to kind of join all the different committees and groups to work together to get our projects done. So that would be another good partnership with Trail Master or some other committee within town to address that issue. So I did bring that up, Laura. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
And
And what about the side of the road where the new trees are going in?
now that would be
Are they,
who was the who
will they be taking
you mean mowing on the side of where
on the side, and maybe eventually that would be a nice place for someone to adopt as a garden, and and then maybe put up a little sign for them to say, a garden donated by so and so. I don't know if that's something that we would consider doing, planting like daffodils around that area, all daffodils or something, not too crazy, but but just to beautify. I mean, I think that's our goal, is to beautify the center of the town, to make it more appealing and welcoming. And
well, that could be part of the that we could talk to, because that is Beth and Betsy's the beautification of the center of town, right, Sheila? So
yeah,
Yeah, where are you talking about?
where the trees, but right across from the Woodbridge Community Center.
good job, Laura.
Good. Got the hang of it already.
I got it already. So right before the new firehouse, where the trees are planted, and they wanted donations of more trees to be
Where the
planted.
walking trail is, where the walking trail is.
Yes,
on the side of the
exactly,
road where the walking
exactly.
trail is.
So I know part of the questions that arise when we talk about gardens is they need to be maintained afterwards.
Right.
And the Garden Club of Woodbridge maintains a couple of gardens. So the one
Right,
I think
right.
at the library in the big turnaround circle,
Yeah.
the one behind the gazebo, basically on
Right.
that corner, and then Arden's Garden, which was the family, the Gordon family that installed that garden on one end of the green. An important component of that was we put in the ground watering there, because
Okay.
watering is the key. Watering and
Yeah.
weeding, I would say, are the keys. So without just a donation of plants is not enough. for a garden,
Yep.
right? So we've
Mhm.
got to also have a group come forward and make a commitment
Right.
decades to come that
Yeah.
they're going to come and weed and they're going to water and that sort of thing. And so
Right.
that's been what's limiting us with this.
Mhm.
If we were to add that to the staff work that the Parks Department is already doing,
No.
kind of
It shouldn't be
expanding
staff.
government
Yeah.
there, right? So that's the trick. I think there has been an offer for a donation for the triangle in front of what's going to be the community center. That maybe will get renewed as we, get closer to having a community center unveiled there. But I think the corner of Beecher and Center on the Fitzgerald property is where they're looking
Right there.
to put trees and things that are
Yes.
easy for the parks.
That's what I'm
maintain.
talking about. At least for,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's tough
chopping
to
all
put
those
a
weeds.
garden though. Yeah,
know,
yeah.
yeah,
No, this
you
is.
know,
I know
just-
Adam Parsons, has an opinion about getting rid of those invasives and poison ivy, things like that. There,
yes.
that's why he's mowing there now.
Yeah.
But Betsy Yaga can talk more about this. And I think Nicole, you mentioned it's Beth's beautification, and I think it does extend to that side of the street as well.
Right. Yeah. No, just right now, I'm just thinking at least, clean it up from those tall weeds. And then at some point, we used to have daffodils on the corner of 63 and 67. And then they did some road work and all
Oh.
those daffodils are gone.
Yeah.
They were just so pretty. I used to enjoy looking at them. And that's what I think is welcoming, and it's nice, when you say, oh wow, you drive by and you see flowers blooming. It's just such a nice, makes you happy. And that's what we want to do. We want to make people happy.
Oh, and one more thing I should tell you is that I did volunteer our committee to take a look at the 2015 sustainability standards that was created, which is mandated. Betsy has it.
Yeah.
I think she was upset when I said I volunteered to take a look at
Yeah.
it and see if
Yeah.
there was anything that we
Well,
could look at.
we were working on it, so I think
Right.
we wouldn't mind,
Right.
continuing to work on that. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think
Mhm.
they're important. They're important.
Right. And it is required, and even if it
Mhm.
wasn't required, we should be doing it. But the other thing is that as it pertains to the community center and the center building,
Mhm.
that those committees will be handling the energy and sustainability standards for those two specific projects. However, it is a requirement that we do have that report. So
Yeah.
I did tell Betsy that we'd be willing to help her. So I will touch base with her. And as I said in June,
Mhm.
I'm hoping to have our project list
Okay.
so that we can get going on some of
A lot
projects.
of work.
Yeah,
There's a lot
others.
of work.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
there's
realize,
others.
you go, oh, Cupop, what does Cupop do, And-
Right.
yeah, but there
And
is
there
a
are
lot of work.
Right, and there are others, but as I indicated, I just need to get some more information before
Yeah.
we can create a list. And I'm waiting for the answers to those questions, and then I'm hoping to have a few others
Mhm.
one in particular that I mentioned last time, which is near and dear to my heart. So hopefully we can do it.
Yeah.
Working with the diversity and inclusion committee. So I promise that's it. I'll stop talking now. So that's all the that's a Cupop projects. June, be ready for my list. And then Leslie, is there a dog park update?
There is. Jeanette had sent me the update. Let me read it to you. She said the weather is beautiful and much of the grass has grown back at the dog park. Previously, she shared that the Board of Selectmen unanimously approved the plan presented by the Woodbridge Dog Park Cooperative in conjunction with the Regional Water Authority to bring a potable water line to outside the entrance area of the dog park from Beecher Road. The proposal went before TPZ and the 8-24 review was approved. Installation for the 2-day project began on Wednesday, May 18th and was completed on Thursday, May 19th. The water line will go live on Monday or Tuesday, May 23rd or the 24th. So you could look out for that.
I saw them working on it. So
Yeah, me too.
yeah, so that was good.
Yeah, according to what she's saying, though, it might be operative as early as tomorrow. Dog park members and the public will have access to the water hydrant. The potable water is intended for pets and humans and not meant for agricultural or gardening purposes.
Yeah.
She said she's happy to share a quote from the WDPC Board of Directors President, Mary Beth Palmer, who said, on behalf of the directors, members, and guests, she was grateful to both the Regional Water Authority and the town officials for their part in this welcome enhancement to the property. We're
Right.
so pleased to share with other community members. This drinking water is now available for dog park users as well as Fitzgerald property walkers, joggers, and nature lovers, and as a gesture of goodwill. The WDPC will foot the bill. Just a reminder, too, to everyone that June is membership month when all residents are encouraged to donate to the dog park to ensure its continued success. And she thanks everyone for noting all of this. And that's
Great.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the dog park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy about the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would see the students running all the time and they're always like looking for water. So now that takes care of that, issue.
Yeah.
I can tell you that just observing another town who has had that same type of setup, I would urge everyone who does use that area to be vigilant to make sure people don't try to, and I'll say it in a nice way, pollute the water, or in any way, make it not potable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just something to keep your eyes out for.
Yeah. I don't even want to know how you would do
No,
that.
you don't want to know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's not even say it out loud.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Thanks, Leslie. Laura, an update on the diversity, equity, inclusion committee?
We're having a book club meeting coming up, and there's a survey that hopefully all of you have taken. I submitted mine, and I got one person, a friend of mine who's an educator, that complimented the survey and said that it was a wonderful thing to do, and she was very supportive. So hopefully we get some good information with the survey. So if you haven't done so, go online and please sign up for the survey. Thank you.
Thank you. And the survey is under your committee.
Yes,
committee
DEI.
page on the
Yeah.
Woodbridge. Okay.
Yes.
All right, great. So it looks like our next meeting will be Monday, June 27th. So I will update you as to whether it'll be a quick working meeting. I will do the different colored highlighters. So hopefully that will minimize time spent on it. And I hope to have a nice little list for us of projects to start when we come back in August.
All right.
Any new items for the agenda?
No, Leslie, I have some contacts that might help on the project, though, that I'll share with, I could give you to help to put on the agenda for next week. Like some of the contacts from the high school, Anna Mann would always have like a nice newsletter every Friday, and she would include things to rally students for, what you had mentioned, Nicole, the public service hours that they need, things like that. So I do have some of those old contacts I'd be happy to share. So that's not really a new item, but just to elaborate on that for next agenda.
Thanks, Patty. I am going to put the subcommittee, I'll call it a subcommittee for the littering project.
Yeah.
And also I hope to have Leslie the information as well of where we could post it at the high school for when we do have an event, just like Patty said. It's probably the same person, Patty, right? In the career center.
Probably. Yep.
Yeah. I just don't know the name of my daughter would, but I'm sure you do too.
Yep.
So we could discuss it and see if that is a project that we all decide that we would like to put on our list, on our 2022, 2023 list. Great. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. I hope everybody has a
and
great
everybody.
night.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Tony.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait, do we have to
Can you make a
adjourn?
Motion.
Yeah.
Motion.
Geez, a motion to adjourn, anyone?
Yeah,
Patty, I'll second.
okay.
Okay. Unanimous? All right.
Okay.
Got it.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
All
What
right,
time
bye.
is it?